Going green isn't as hard as you think. We're going to meet some interesting people who will show us how to be eco-friendly, from making a few small changes to transforming your life.
Hi, my name is Renee Loux. Welcome to It's Easy Being Green.
As a green writer and organic chef, I've met some fun, fascinating people.
Paul, meet Renee.
Who are all green in their own way.
Taller than I am.
Today, we're going to visit a family who have made access to organic foods easier.
A father and daughter team you just might recognize.
Paul Newman is an American icon. After starring in some of the most famous films in movie history, he became the face of a salad dressing that launched millions of charity dollars. So, what Paul Newman is doing now seems, well, natural. He's giving back to his local community by combining his love of acting with his passion for food by opening a restaurant in the shadows of a local theater in his home of Westport, Connecticut. The Westport Country Playhouse has been an important part of the theater world since 1931. It was started by the founding members of the Theater Guild, who bought the old barn and made it into a playhouse. Throughout its history, some of the biggest names in entertainment have performed here, including Henry Fonda, Liza Minnelli, and Stephen Sondheim.
In the early days, it was the tryout theater for the Theater Guild. And every great American actor and actress played in that barn.
In 2000, the Playhouse was falling apart, and Paul's wife, Joanne Woodward, led the charge to restore the barn, and Paul took a special interest in the old dressing rooms.
This building had been a restaurant for a number of years, some successful, some not very successful. So the barn was falling apart, and in order for it to survive, we knew we had to build something. I shipped the wood up from South Carolina.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was a lot less expensive to do that than to run around New England trying to find old barn wood and spend yourself into the poorhouse. And then, while the theater was being rebuilt, the building was used for an administration office and all that kind of stuff. So when they vacated it and moved back to the theater, decided it was time to put another restaurant in there.
A couple of years ago, Nell Newman approached me, and her father was interested in opening a restaurant. And she called me frantically, asking me for one of two favors, and that was either to talk him out of it or to help him do it.
World-renowned organic chef Michel Nischan stepped in at Nell's request to help Paul's vision become a reality.
Interestingly, it was kind of like opening a restaurant with my dad, you know? He's the same age my father would be, and one of my dad's dreams was to open up a very humble restaurant on some lake somewhere so we could fish during the day and work the restaurant at night. And Paul kind of has that feel to him. So we got along right away. It was really easy to just come up with all kinds of crazy ideas about what this place would be all about.
Do you find yourself surprised to be associated with a restaurant? Is this something you've envisioned yourself doing?
I'd never thought of it, but it seemed to make sense. And also, after we pay back the bank, it should, you know, provide a subsidy for the theater, which is what which is my goal.
The premise of the restaurant is everything is local, sustainable, organic. Knowing who was growing your food was like the absolute tenet. Our quest in helping people make it easier to be green is trying to bring green things to them so that we can break through that wall of convenience that just exists. It's there, it's human nature. So when we can make it easy for them to have access to locally grown, organic, biodynamic products, that's helping them.
It seems like this is really unfolding with success. Is there anything you attribute to that?
Condé Nast, which is a huge travel organization, just named the best 100 new restaurants on the planet. Not North America,
on the
not
planet.
Europe, but on the planet, and we're one of them.
Paul and Michel have taken some of the guesswork out of eating organic in Westport, as well as what to do on a Friday night.
This is pretty prime real estate for a restaurant, I imagine, with the Playhouse. Is that the ultimate version of dinner and a movie?
Yeah.
Coming up next,
To convince Dad that it was a good idea was a little tricky.
Nell Newman invites us to California and explains how she convinced her dad to greenlight Newman's Own Organic. And later, Paul shares with us his ultimate dream for the restaurant parking lot.
I want to put go-karts in here. I'm not being very successful, but who knows, down the pike.